I'm giving her.
Let's pause for 1 minute. For 1 minute. Sir, show me
Read your own
where
Bible.
is married 12
Mary was
years
12 years old.
Show me. Here's the Bible for you. Show
Mary
me.
was 12 years old.
Here's the Bible.
Joseph was
Sir,
99.
Sir,
According to the
John-
commentary of your own Bible.
Here's
Commentary.
the Bible for you.
Commentary on
Can
your own
you
Bible.
please show me the verse
Ask
from
any-
the Bible
ask any
which tells
biblical
us
scholar, they will tell you that.
Mary was
Ask Eddie.
Mary was
How
12
old is
years
Mary?
old.
How old is Mary?
Can you show me the
How old
verse?
was she then?
I told you before.
How old was she?
It doesn't tell the age
How old
of
was Mary? Then how old
so
was she?
Can you please?
How old was she?
Back up your claim.
May I?
Can you please? Can you
How
please
old did Jews marry?
apologize on behalf
How
of your
old?
brother?
He's
who
not,
is
wait, this
lying
guy doesn't
here.
represent me. He does
Yes,
not
sir.
represent. Wait, I'm not being represented by this guy. Number one, he's saying the hadiths are not authentic here. I'm saying the hadiths are authentic. They're the same.
I'm not talking to you. Can
I'm
you just
given
wait?
9 evidence from Bukhari, Tabari, Ibn Kathir.
Are you Sunni?
Yeah, I am Sunni.
Okay.
And those hadith prove that she's over 19 years old.
Content over everything.
And according to your Sahih sources, when
What
Aisha
YouTube
was
channel do you upload this on?
to 13,
This one's gonna
the
go into
Arabic phrase
content
you
over
use
there.
for that.
Oh,
Can you
okay,
please
okay.
tell me which surah you are
Already
talking about
subscribed.
it? And can you please confirm when is the date of that surah? Why did you think, why do you come to the conclusion in that surah, in that hadith, as Aisha says, age between 6 and 13, can you just please confirm where that source comes from? Because Aisha, when you look at in her own testimony, in Sahih Bukhari, in Sahih Muslim, in all other hadiths, plus in the Tabari, we know Aisha herself testifies that she was only 6 years old when they got married, and sex between man and woman took place when she was only 9 years old. And we know because they couldn't have sex because Aisha was too young. So the way it's my turn.
They couldn't have to come
it's my
together.
turn.
Don't
It's
have
so,
sex because the way you see it, it's like very degrading. Because when we sleep with somebody, we don't say I want to have sex with you. No.
بس يا أخي أنت عربي؟
طبعا
كلام
عربي.
صحيح. You're right.
It's not nice to say
it
we
is
have
only
sex.
It is only first dialogue. You already stepped into my time, and you already
You're
took over
asking me.
my time.
You're asking me.
No,
you can extend your time.
No, that's
But
not the point.
I'm
That's
telling
not
you.
the point. Remember, when we
خليت
started
كمل،
the
خليت
discussion,
كمل. Okay,
we
sorry,
gave
go on,
each
carry
other
on, carry
2
on.
minutes, 2 minutes.
Carry on.
You already broke my 2 minutes.
Sorry,
That
sister,
is
carry
very
on.
disrespectful.
Take 5 minutes.
Sir,
Carry on, sister, carry on.
Be respectful.
That doesn't help. That doesn't help.
You're right. Carry
So,
on, sister. Carry on.
Sir, that doesn't help. I am in the conversation with him right now.
Carry
Just
on,
wait,
carry on.
Just wait. So,
خليت كمل.
when we look at the Sahih Bukhari, when we look at the Sahih Muslim, when we look at all other hadiths, which tells us, as Aisha testifies, that she was only 6 years old when they consummated marriage when she was 9 years old.
That's correct. Carry on, yeah. That's correct, yeah.
The reason man who is 54 years old couldn't have sex with Aisha before she turned 9 because Aisha was still a child and her body was not available to have sex with Muhammad, a man who is 54 years old. So, as they couldn't have sex, we know from the Islamic tradition how they were doing tightings or however you phrase that. Kind of Muhammad was touching her and playing with her before he was able to have sex with her. So I would love you to, if you believe strongly and your sources tells you Aisha was over 13 years old, I want you to give me source from Muhammad testifies or Aisha testifies that she was over 13 years old. Let me give you a couple of references and then even count you how many references I have, which Aisha tells us she was a child and she was still playing with the dolls while she got married. Sahih Bukhari, volume 7, 62, 64, also 65, 88 tells us that Prophet married her when she was 6 years old, it is testified by Aisha, and he consummated his marriage when she was 9 years old. Sahih Bukhari, volume 9, book 87, hadith 140.
Your time is up.
My time is up, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna give you the sources straight away and you can check them up. You have Tabari volume 4, page 50, Dar al-Fikr. Al-Asqalani volume 4, page 377.
Sir?
Please.
Give me the full reference, please.
I'm giving you
And then read
the
the hadith for
volume
me.
and you can check. 190, 78, مكتبة الرياض, رياض الحديث, page 694, Ibn Hajar, the book it's called التقريب والتهذيب, volume 8, page 372, which is printed 1933, البداية والنهاية, Ahmed bin Hanbal, volume 6, page 210, Ahmed bin Hanbal, Kitab al-Baghazi, the book of Maghazi, Bab, Ghazawi al-Nisa, the battle of the women, Kitab أحياء التراث العربي بيروت. Again, you have www.trfi.org, article age of Aisha age. Again, www.hindustantimes.com/India/Aisha was 19. So you can check all of this this exactly. And you
they
have
all
Ibn
say-
Kathir,
They all say Aisha
Ibn
was
Kathir
13.
and Ibn Hajar, the book Bidaya والنهاية, the first and the age. And Aisha was 17, 18 years old at the time of migration. And now I'm going to give you Bukhari,
You've got 4 seconds.
Bukhari and Muslim, Aisha.
Your time is up.
Okay.
So, here's the interesting thing. You are telling me, according to Tabari and all other sources which you recited, that Aisha, when he moved to Medina, when they moved to Medina,
Yeah.
she was 18 years old. Here's the thing. It is the same Tabari. Do you want to hear what he says?
Say, of
The
course.
Prophet married to Aisha, I'll give you the page number stuff, all these things. The Prophet married Aisha in Shawwal in the 10th year of the beginning of his prophethood, 3 years before emigration, 3 years before they moved to Medina, not after they moved to Medina. He consummated the marriage in Shawwal, 8 months after emigration. On the day he consummated the marriage, she was 9 years old. So, Tabari tells me Aisha was 9 years old, and your Tabari tells you Aisha was over 18 years old. Which Tabari are you going to follow? Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Ibn Hisham, Al-Tabari, Sunnah Ibn Majah, Sunnah Nasai, Sunnah Abu Dawud, Sahih Muslim. All those hadiths, your first 6 reliable hadiths, testifies Aisha was 6 years old when they married. Marriage consummated, sex between man and woman, sex between a man who is 54 years old, took place with Aisha when Aisha turned to 9. So, how are you going to deal when the same sources in the same book, when they contradict one another? Can you please give me reasons why do you reject Sahih Bukhari?
I can speak now?
Yeah, it's your
Okay. When you find hadith narrated of Bukhari or anyone else, as a hadith contradict another hadith for the same narrator, that means one of those hadiths are false. And this is exactly what's going on here. I'm going to give you Bukhari and Tabari. Tabari, he narrates that he contradicts his hadith by stating all
Tell me
four,
why my hadiths are wrong.
all 4 of Abu Bakr's children were born of his 2 wives during pre-Islamic period. That it's mean before 610. That means Aisha was born before 610, and at least she should be 14 years old. Another one, in Bukhari and Muslim, Aisha 624, she was in the battle. Aisha was engaged to Mut'im, the son, this you will find it in Tabari. Mut'im's son. A marriage was off as Abu Bakr embraced Islam. So Aisha was a young lady, over 14 years old. Aisha accepted Islam during the first year of Islam, 14 years before marriage. Besides Khawla, this you will find it in Ahmad bin Nambal, volume number 12. Khawla suggests that the Prophet marry a Bikr, which between 9 and 14 years old after Khadija's death, referring to Aisha, Bikr between 10 and 15 years old. But Asma, the older sister of Aisha, died when she was 73 years old after immigration. That means she was 100 years old. She was between 27 and 28 years old at the migration, at the time 623. And this you will find it in Ibn Kathir and Ibn Hajar. Okay.
Your time is up. So, I am surprised and shocked. Actually, I'm not surprised and shocked that you failed to respond to my question. I ask you a very, very simple question. What are your criteria that you are discrediting Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Abu Dawud, Ibn Majah, Tabari, as they make claim that Aisha was 6 years old when she was told to get married with a man called Muhammad while he was 54 years old. So here's the problem. Since we know there is nowhere in the Quran which tells you go and follow the certain part of the Tabari. Since we know there is nowhere in the Quran which tells you go and pick and choose.
How come the time is not going here?
Oops, sorry. I'll finish at one. How come there is nowhere in Quran it doesn't tell you go and nowhere in the Quran it tells you go and do cherry picking things in the Sahih Bukhari to put in your agenda. All Muslim scholars agree that Aisha, main ones, was 9 years old. Before Muslim scholars, when I go to your 6 hadiths,
I guess
6
you
main
should stop
hadiths,
now.
they tell us Aisha was 6 years old. So can you please tell me what are your reasons you discredit the hadiths I read it for you?
Okay. Can I talk now?
Yeah, you start.
Bukhari, we all know that 185 years he came after the Prophet's death. 185 years. That means all the hadiths he gathered, plenty of them were not authentic. Maybe some of them are authentic. And I explained to you, when we have hadith for one narrator and we have for the same narrator another hadith contradicted, so we don't take with this hadith as it's false, because a lot of Westerners who accepted Islam and they want to actually deform the Prophet reputation, and that's the only possibility for them. Besides, you said 54 years old, married 6 years old. Is it possible that the leader of the Muslim Ummah, which he as like a president and commander, he would have any women he wish. He would leave all the women and go for a child which her body, as you said, 6 years old, her body is not even ready for, is a child. You're saying that the Prophet is a pedo, and this is a rejection because
what I'm saying?
Pedo, you are saying
that
pedophilia, he's going after children, and this is nonsense, because all the believer which rejects the Prophet, if he's sleeping with 6 years old. I'm 54 years old, I have 7 years old boy. If it's a girl, if I have a friend, would I come and tell my friend, allow me to marry your daughter? He will tell me, fuck off. Sorry about this, but that's the way it goes. As I come back to this, Okay, if, my time is finished. Come back.
I am amazed. I am amazed. And it's been recorded amazingly. There are like 2 cameras are recording this conversation. I am amazed that without any shame, at Speaker's Corner, as you stand with Christian apologists, you are using certain phrases for your prophet without me to even mention. I can see
This is
from
your
someone
claim. This
who
is your claim.
I never use that phrase for Muhammad.
But
I can
you are
say,
using it.
It's my turn.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Heckling doesn't help. Heckling doesn't help.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can see at Speaker's Corner where you've been given freedom of speech to speak and even to talk about your prophet, you can say, you can use that phrases for your prophet. It makes sense for me because you look at today's eyes and then you see a grandfather, someone who is on the age of grandfather, without any shame, wants to get married with a girl, with a child who is playing with the dogs. I know, I would use that phrase, but I haven't used that phrase for Muhammad yet. I am grateful that you brought that up. Here's the thing. You think in 2017, your age is 54, it does not meet with your moral standards that your friends wants to get, who will be in age 50s wants to get married your child who is 7 years old. You have a son. If you had a daughter, you wouldn't encourage that.
Exactly.
Amazing. Okay. Muslims have much higher moral standard than Allah and man called Muhammad because they thought it was all right. They could do that, but you don't do that.
What you said, Allah, when you said Allah, open any Arabic Bible and you will see in Genesis 1:31, Allah, the word Allah is mentioned 31 times. So you cannot say that Allah is not your God. That's first. And in Hebrew, Allah is the God of Abraham and all the prophets. And Jesus, peace upon him, submit, serve, obey, glorify, praise, and fell on his face to worship him. He didn't worship himself. Something else. I have Qur'an about the marriage. Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, number 5 and 6. And God say, and give the women on marriage their dower as an obligation, but feed and clothe them therewith, and speak to them word of kindness and justice, and regarding and make trial of orphan until they reach the age of marriage. That means it's not allowed and according to the Quran to marry unless they reach the age of marriage, which is above 14 years old, when the body is formed already. And if they yet find sound judgment on them, so you don't get married with a child who have no sense and play with his toys because he is a child. You cannot marry because the age of marriage, that means is when they are have wisdom enough and they are equal partner. You can have discussion with, but and this I come back, as I told you, I give you Ibn Kathir and Ibn Hajar.
Your time is up, sir.
Okay, fair enough.
I am amazed, and I am amazed
Good.
that first of all, I'm not even going to deal with your comments on Allah because that's not our topic.
Oh.
Why I am saying your morality in 2017 at Speaker's Corner is much higher than Allah and man who is identified as the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad. Why I say that? You know why? Because when you look at the Islamic sources, Muhammad makes a claim it was Allah who revealed Aisha while she's a child to marry a man who is in his 50s. But you think you cannot do that. So your moral standards are much better than Allah. I'm grateful for that. your moral standards are much, much better than Muhammad, because Muhammad said, oh, I need to marry with someone. Allah revealed Aisha to me while she is 6 years old. And Muhammad, very faithful servant of Allah,
Please, the brother,
steps
please.
in and marries a girl who is only 6 years old, according to Sahih Bukhari, according
Brother, please,
according
brother,
to Sahih
please.
Muslim, according to Ibn Majah, according to Abu Dawud, according to Tabari. Aisha herself testifies she is only 6 years old. Therefore, I congratulate you that you stand with your moral standards much higher than Allah and Muhammad. You have not responded to me. What is your reasons that you discredit the hadiths I told you from the first 6 hadiths, yet you pick and choose your hadiths? I can see Muslims are so upset. Muslims are so upset.
99-year-old Joseph, come on.
I don't have enough time to come to the next topic.
Okay, I come back to what I said. When you have 70,000 hadith
According to your own
and
Bible, Mary was 12 years old.
brother,
Wait, you don't represent me, man.
Sir,
brother,
okay,
please,
let's
please.
pause.
She's talking to me.
Sir, just let's
I'm giving
pause.
her.
Let's pause for 1 minute. For 1 minute, sir. Show me
Read your own
where
Bible.
is Mary 12
Mary was 12 years old.
Show me. Here's the Bible for you. Show
Mary
me.
was 12 years old.
Here's the Bible.
Joseph was
Sir,
99.
sir,
According to the
your-
commentary on your own Bible.
Here's the Bible for you.
Commentary on
Can
your own
you
Bible.
please show me the verse
Ask
from
any-
the Bible
ask any
which
biblical
tells
scholar,
us
they will tell you that.
Mary was
Ask Eddie.
Mary was
How
12
old is
years
Mary?
old.
How old is Mary?
Can you show me the
How old
verse?
was she then?
I told you before.
How old was she?
It doesn't tell the age
How old
of
was Mary? Then how old
So
was she?
Can you please?
How old was she?
Back up your claim.
May I?
Can you please? Can you
How old
please
did Jews marry?
apologize on behalf
How
of your
old?
brother
He's
who
not.
is
Wait, this
lying
guy doesn't
here?
represent me. He does
Yes,
not
sir.
represent. Wait, I'm not being represented by this guy. Number one, he's saying the hadiths are not authentic here. I'm saying the hadiths are authentic. They're the same.
I'm not talking to you. Can
I'm
you just
given
wait?
9 evidence from Bukhari, Tabari, Ibn Kathir.
Are you Sunni?
Yeah, I am Sunni.
Okay,
And those hadith prove that she's over 19 years old.
No, we don't agree with him.
No.
Okay, this guy doesn't represent me.
Okay, listen before you deny.
Your biblical
listen,
scholar said
before you
Mary
deny,
was 12 years old and
before
Joseph
you
was
deny-
99.
before you deny,
Your biblical
listen.
scholar said this.
99 years
Bring me
old.
one person here who disagrees.
What's your
Hello,
Bring me
sir.
one
I'm not
person,
gonna
one
talk.
scholar here in the Bible
I'm listening,
who
brother. Your
says
time
otherwise.
is going.
Bring me that.
Your time is going.
Number 4, Abu Bakr planned to immigrate to Habasha 8 years before migration, and Aisha was engaged to Mut'im's son. At Tabari, number 9, marriage was off as Abu Bakr embraced Islam, so Aisha was a young lady, which proved over 14 years old. So it's impossible that she was 6 years old when she got married. Again, who? Aisha accepted Islam during the first year of Islam. That means 14 years before marriage. And I come back to Bukhari number 5. Aisha said I was Jariya, that means between 10 and 15 years old when Al-Qamar was revealed. And chapter of Al-Qamar was revealed 9 years before migration. That means 614. So she must be at least 16 years old. And this is all what I can say. I can reject any hadith which contradict this.
Who write that? Did you write that?
Okay, it's my turn now.
Did you write that?
I have sources.
it's-
I already put
Sir,
my friend.
It's
you
my
write
turn.
that?
It's my
I
turn.
write it, yeah.
It's my
So
turn.
you're a liar.
So,
Your
here's the
mother
thing.
is a liar.
Here's the
She
thing.
bring you over.
My question still stands. Why are you discrediting this hadith which
Wait,
I am
wait.
giving you from the...
Do you know how to read?
No.
So away you
I
are.
don't know how to read.
Away you are.
Wait,
As long
it's
as
a
you-
lie.
Yeah, it's a lie. Yeah,
About
because
what is written
you say
here.
a lie, prove it.
Do you
It's a lie.
believe? Do you believe that a child at the age of 6 we get married?
As you have your Muslim brothers around you, they are part of the Islamic Dawah team. You are part of the Islamic Dawah team. And they already disagreeing with you as you stand here and make a claim that Aisha was over 18. they disagree with you. Sahih Bukhari disagrees with you. Sahih Muslim disagrees with you.
I provide you
Abu
with
Dawud
evidence.
disagrees with you. Ibn Majah disagrees with you. Tabari disagrees with you. So,
I provide you with
you
evidence.
have not
I
provided
don't need
me. It's
other
my
people.
turn.
They
It's
don't
my-
know.
Speaking over me doesn't help you because it's my turn. I listen to you respectfully, and I would.
No, I'm
expect the
answering
same
you
thing.
because
But
you're asking
I
me.
know- Yeah, you will respond when it comes to your turn.
Oh, okay.
So my question stands. Why are you discrediting the hadiths references? I give it to you. So that's my first question. Please respond to that. Let's say, sake of the argument, your references are wrong, and it is true that Muhammad in 50s married a girl 6 years old and had sex with her in different ways. Are you okay with that? What does it say about your prophet? But before that, you talked about the age of marriage, and then you read the certain hadiths, and then you put your interpretation of that.
Numbers 31:18. They say for yourself, every girl who has never known men.
Islamic
This
thing
is-
like this,
this
those
is
are the
pedophilia
people, they
and child
never
sex slavery
even
in the Bible.
bother to
Numbers
defend their
31:18. Numbers
They
31:18.
never even bother
Say
to
for
defend
yourself,
their
every
prophets
little girl has
because
never known men. I'm
Muhammad
talking for you,
puts them in a place where it
Numbers,
is
Numbers
defendable.
31:19. Your
why
Bible,
you stop
child
it?
sex
Because your
slavery.
brother stepping in.
Little
I
girls
guess
that
your
never
time-
known men.
I guess
Let me
Keep
finish.
yourself.
your time is up.
No, my
anyway.
time is not. I got 17 seconds. So,
But say for
Sir,
yourself, every
sir,
girl
get
who
on the
has
line.
never slept with a
Get
man.
on the
How
line.
would
Get
how
on the
would you
line.
know if a girl is a
Can you
virgin
please
by
provide
having
from
sex
me
with her,
from-
right?
from
And
the
if she
Qur'an,
doesn't bleed,
age of
then
marriage,
she's a virgin.
which you said it's
so
13,
you're raping children.
identified
And
as
the commentary
13.
on this verse
I have
in the
read
Bible
the Quran.
is talking about
Nowhere
3
in
years
this Quran
old.
tells you
3-year-old babies
age of
and
marriage
above.
is 13. If
This
it
is
the
child sex
13,
slavery in your Bible.
Tell me,
Who do you like
why
to
do
refer
you
to it?
follow a
The time is
prophet?
up, I guess.
Why do you follow a
God
prophet who
who
breaks the
encourages
law
child
of the
sex
Quran?
slavery?
You didn't break any law of the Quran. What are you talking about?
Why does your God here talk about
It
child sex
doesn't
slavery?
Break the law of the Quran.
Guys,
Why does
guys,
your God talk
just-
about child sex
just-
slavery?
just-
Explain that to me, please.
Okay, let me respond. Let me respond to that.
Okay.
Guys,
Explain
it
to me.
doesn't help you.
No, your
When
own God.
you need to defend
No, I'm not
Muhammad,
defending
who is
nothing.
not
I'm talking about your Bible.
defendable,
Your Bible.
You need to first
Your God.
defend Muhammad.
Your God, which is
and then
Jesus.
You can have asked
Jesus,
the question.
okay.
But if you fail
In
to
Numbers
defend Muhammad,
31:18,
I've got nothing to do with you.
But say
Yes,
for
sir.
yourself, every girl who has never slept with man,
Out of
and that
context.
is after
Yes, sir.
you kill every other boy
Keep
and
speaking.
old.
I give you again. I give you
Let's go to
again.
the verse before that.
It's your Bible.
Hey, you're heckling now, bro. If you want to debate that, wait.
Now kill
where
all
you like,
the
where you like?
boys
Why are you
and kill
discrediting my
every
hadith?
woman
I'm
who
I'm
slept
not
with a
discrediting your
man.
hadith. I'm
You wanna debate
discrediting.
afterwards?
Kill all the
wanna
boys
debate that afterwards?
and
The hadith
kill
which is
every
false.
woman who has slept with
Because-
a man.
Why?
When-
What
when-
are the
when-
reasons?
when- when-
They don't
For
have it
yourself,
for-
When we
every
find
virgin
when we
girl
find
who has never
Bukhari
slept with a
have
man.
two hadiths,
you can't
one of
just
them
Child sex
contradicts
slavery in your
contradicts the
Bible, man.
other.
Wanna get in line?
It's not
Child sex
right
slavery.
Wanna get
that
in
we
line,
take
yeah?
the false
Child sex
hadith
slavery
and take
in your
it as
Bible, bro.
hadith
Child
What
authentic.
if it
your
makes
Bible,
my
man. Come
hadith
on,
false?
answer that.
What if
I
it
already-
makes... No, give me,
You-
tell me.
I
in
alre-
the
I
chain-
already give
no,
you-
No, no, no. I
I
want you
already-
to give me, I want you to tell me, because of the person X in the chain, therefore this hadith contradicts. Your explanation regarding because it contradicts the Quran
Kill all the
doesn't
boys
work
and all the girls who have
because
sex
the
with
Quran
men.
doesn't
But
tell
keep
you.
the little virgin
age
girls
is
who are 3 years
13.
old for yourself. Sex slavery, child sex slavery, pedophilia in your Bible, man. Come on. 3 years old or above, yeah, you keep
Surah
it for yourself.
An-Nisa.
Oh my God!
Chapter
May
4.
you
Ya
find
Allah.
Lord
Can
Jesus.
you-
It looks like he
can-
needs to urgently
You
come
need
to you,
Allah in
sir.
your life. You hate preacher.
Worshiping Jesus.
Oh.
Look, I'm gonna give you
start
multiple
your fight from
verses.
the beginning.
Multiple verses.
Can you
Bro,
excuse
you can't even
that?
defend
No,
your
this
Quran,
guy,
bro.
you do not represent me, okay? Whoever
not
you are,
representing you.
don't. This is a
I'm-
mock exercise, yeah?
I'm not
This
representing
guy,
you.
I don't know who he is, yeah?
Oh
okay?
my God.
He does not represent any Sunni Muslim here.
very
I'm a
sad.
Lebanese.
They
Lebanese,
catch you
54
for
years
somewhere,
old.
and then they're having this fake little discussion here, man.
Who have
Show me any Muslim here who say, look, you support me, you are the one who represents us. Bring me one Muslim here. who
go
agrees
and
with me.
ask about me. Go.
Nobody agrees
Go
with him.
go go and
Nobody.
ask about me. Go.
Look, brother, do you agree with this guy?
Sir, it's your time is going by the way.
Huh?
Your
Thank
time
you.
is going.
On this issue, yeah, you don't represent this Muslim brother here.
Alright,
You
thank
don't
you.
represent me. You don't represent you.
This is
Hold on.
what happens
Does
when
this guy represent
Islamic
you?
Dawatim cannot
He doesn't.
defend the basics and
Because,
their
because
project. They
you
start
didn't listen
fighting
to
with
see
one
if I'm
another.
saying what I'm
You're
saying.
going against clear-cut hadith. We're not, that's
Wait,
the
wait.
issue for us.
Okay, can I ask you something?
So let's
What-
just go for it.
No, I'm
Well, let
asking
me ask
her.
you something.
No, I'm not asking you.
Do
I'm
you
not debating
believe?
with you.
Do you believe?
I'm not debating with you.
Do you
I'm not debating
believe
with you.
that the
I'm
Prophet?
not debating with you.
Do you
Say
believe that the
sallallahu alayhi wa
Prophet
sallam.
he slept with 6 years
I want
old?
to speak to her, yeah?
Did you believe
You
that the
said-
Prophet
I have a name, get
did
on the line, I'll
sleep
come
with
to you.
6 years old?
17.
Get on
Do
the
you
line, I'll
believe
come
that
to
the
you.
Prophet?
Hadith, yeah.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
It's in the hadith.
Are you with right mind to say yes? You know what 6 years old?
It's in
That
the
it doesn't
hadith.
have hair. Cubic hair. It doesn't have anything.
9
It's
years
a
old
child.
is a woman.
Let me tell you.
Aisha has
I'm
a
Six
not-
years
not
old
saying
girl
6 years
does
old.
not have hair yet.
You're sick,
6 years
man.
old
You're
girl
sick.
doesn't have
was
a
not
brain
consummated.
yet.
You're
But
not
Muhammad
using your
taught
brain.
It
in
was
the
not
Quran.
consummated at 6, okay?
I'm 54
Who said-
years
who-
old.
did
If
we-
you have your sister 6 years old
Was it
and I
consummated?
come at
Was it
54,
consummated?
would you allow her to marry me?
Was it consummated?
Okay.
Why
so
not?
Wait,
Why not?
Why not?
Wait,
Why
was
not?
it, was it consummated?
روح يا عمي روح.
Was it consummated
Go
at,
أخي,
at
go.
that age? Yes
Go
or no?
أخي, Allah
Yes or
subhanahu wa
no?
ta'ala guide you.
Yes or no? Was it consummated at that age?
No, it wasn't
It wasn't,
custom.
so then you don't have-
because
have
the
no
Prophet
argument.
wouldn't marry 6 years
No,
old.
no.
He's 6 years old. Is
Marriage and
didn't reach
consummation are two things.
adulthood.
Listen to me, yeah?
Amma, go
Marriage-
away, please, good
Marriage
brother.
and consummation are not the same thing.
Back off.
Marriage,
please.
no,
Back
no,
off.
one
Back
second,
off.
one second.
Back off. Don't
I'm
do
not-
this. Back
marriage-
off.
I have to
Back
go
off.
nowhere. Speaker's corner.
Back off. Look.
Marriage is not consummation. Marriage is not equal to consummation.
This is from-
No,
This is from-
I don't know who he is. I don't know him. I don't know him. I don't know him.
It doesn't help you.
You.
Sir,
What is
you
the
just
child?
get on the line.
Child
I'll talk
sex
to you.
slavery in your
I'm gonna
Bible.
talk to you, just get
Numbers
on the line.
31:17.
I'm gonna talk to you. Just
This
get
is
on the line.
Child
this
sex
is
slavery in
from
your Bible.
Bukhari.
3 years old.
Listen.
Mate,
This is
I'm
from
talking to you,
Bukhari
man.
and Tabari, and I'm giving you reference. You can check.
Mate, I'm not asking. I'm not arguing with
Oh,
you.
my
I'm
God.
arguing. I'm talking to her.
No, sir.
Okay.
Numbers
I'm not-
31:17.
She's talking to
I
me.
have to
She's
talk
not
to you.
talking
Child
to you.
But
sex
right now
slavery.
I'm not talking to you. So
Child
get
sex
on the
slavery in your
line,
Bible.
I'll talk
Answer
to you.
that.
Yes, sir. Continue.
Your
You can
scholar
say-
said-
Continue
3
for
years
what?
old.
Continue. They don't want to listen.
I am listening. to you, sir.
I'm coming back to give you the sources
And killing
which
little boys. Killing women
prove
just
that
because
she
they have
was
sex.
over
That is
16
your
years
Bible
old.
right there.
You can check sources www.trfi.org, article age Aisha, www.hindustantimes.com, hindustantimes.com, it's one word, /India/Aisha was 19. And you have Tabari volume 4 page 50, Dar al-Fikr al-Asqalani volume 4 page 377, Riyadh al-Hadith printed 1978, Ibn Hajar Taqrib wa Tahzib page 654, the book Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya page 372, volume 8
time is up.
1933.
Your time is
This
up.
is for you
Your time is
as
up.
well. You can take a picture and find out about this hadith because it's correct you. Yeah.
So,
No, I want to ask you about the child sex
here's
slavery. in the Bible.
what happens. Here's what
Here's the
happens.
conversation, yeah? No,
I am
yes.
amazed.
part
I
of
am
it.
amazed.
Yes.
At Speaker's
Numbers
Corner,
31:17.
you just break my heart.
You
You know how you break my heart and how it is upsetting?
I don't think you're kidding.
First of all, two Islamic Dawatim just fighting with one another. Which hadith is the correct translation, correct or reliable? Secondly, it breaks my heart, it crushes my heart, it smashes my heart. You know why?
Because God say 3 years old.
You've got the Quran here. You've got the Sahih hadiths out there. You've got other Islamic traditions. But what happens? Islamic Dawatim goes to the website called Hindu something, Hindu Times. What happened to the Quran? Why did you throw Quran under the bus?
I give you
Why
the
did you
number of
throw
the
the
surah.
hadiths under the bus? So I ask you very simple questions. Give me your sources from the Quran, which tells you age of marriage is 13. If it does say that, can you just tell me why do you follow a prophet? Why do you follow a prophet while he disobeys by the revelation Allah give it to him. If it is on the Quran, he needs to marry when she was 13. How are you going to deal with Surah 66? Let me tell you, what is the age of marriage? Not only age of marriage, even age of divorce. So I go to Surah 66.
27 states in America, yeah, there is no minimum age for marriage. And 3-year-olds.
I go to Surah 66 or 65. Sorry, I go to Talak. I go to Surah 65. Surah 65 tells you that you can divorce. You can divorce the girls who have not reached their puberty. How can you divorce them? How can you divorce them if you have not married them and they have not had their puberty before age 13? So provide your verses for me, okay? Where is in the Quran age limit is 13? Provide your sources for me. Why do you discredit my hadith?
Why are you embarrassed to answer a question about Islam?
Yeah.
Are you embarrassed?
You are embarrassed to answer a
The
question about
Catholic
Islam.
Church,
Stay,
yeah,
stay,
You are
stay.
embarrassed to
Stay,
answer
stay.
a question
it's
about
actually
Islam
exposed
because
for
My
touching
turn?
children
Really?
in the church.
I give you again Surah An-Nisa chapter 4, ayah number 5 and 6. And I mentioned to
Can you
you,
read it for us?
yeah, and give the women on marriage their dower as an obligation,
Your church goers.
and feed them and clothe them therewith, and speak to them word of kindness and justice. Make trial of orphan until they reach the age of marriage. That means if they carry on, if they yet find sound judgment in them, that gives them their money. That means the age of marriage, it should be an adulthood which the child is, you can respond and talk to him. Besides, I have the age of Aisha, I state all, I can show you, I state all the sources and all the evidence which I give as well. Age of Aisha at time of marriage, Sayyid Yahya, and you've seen it here. Dawah as well.
I said that in Islam it is permissible to bring female.
You're a liar. Are you a scholar?
I finish. If you want to say anything.
Okay.
Scholar, you're
Any evidence?
Wrap up.
I
Wrap up.
am asking very simple
I
questions.
already gave.
It's my turn. You said you finished.
Okay.
I've been asking very simple questions. Can Muhammad be moral example to us today when Quran states he's the example to all mankind at all the times, all the places?
This is the question.
No, it's my turn. I'm speaking. So when a man who is 54 thinks it's all right to get married with a girl who is only 6, she doesn't have breasts yet. She's not capable to have sex yet. But a man who is nearly age of grandfather thinks it's all right to get married with her. But as I said, I am amazed. You think your standards are much higher than Muhammad because you will never allow that for your kids. But man who's supposed to be the example to all mankind, who's supposed to be example to all mankind.
You start again.
No, I'm just gonna do 1 minute, sorry. Because I forgot the phrase. Okay. Who's supposed to be example to all mankind goes against your moral standards, goes against my moral standards. You give me the references from the hadiths and you put your interpretation there. None of those hadith tells us Aisha was 18 years old. You added your interpretation. Yet, I gave you Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Ibn Majah, Abu Dawud, Ibn Ishaq, Tabari, which all state Aisha was 6 years old. She was playing with the dolls. She was in the swing. She even got lost. She couldn't even find her way to home. She was just a child to marry. You fail to discredit. Give me the reasons. Why are you discrediting my hadiths? I know they are written very late. I know they are all made up, all those kind of things. But you need to give me your reasons.
Okay. Let me conclude. As I said, the Prophet, peace upon him, he wouldn't sleep with a child who's playing with her toes. First, I discredit the hadith which contradicts the same narrator, where there's two hadiths contradicting each other. So I take the one which is appropriate to take. Besides, the standard moral of the Prophet, peace upon him, all the believer, if he does that, they would walk away from him and he wouldn't be a prophet. The prophet is responsible about our moral. Besides, I give you the chapter 4 Surah An-Nisa, and you can check as well where it says that if there's age, minimum age of marriage which is allowed. And regarding the brothers, they don't I'm 54 years old. I bother to look around and check. The brother, they are still young and they don't know, and they are agreeing whatever they rush in their head without even looking. And that's the way it is. And I said, as I give you Bukhari, Tabari, Muslim, Ibn Kathir, Ahmad bin Hanbal, Ibn Hajar, and this is my sources. I didn't take those sources from anywhere. I give you the number of the volume and where I get them. And you believe it, you don't believe it, it's up to you. Finish. Thank you very much for listening anyway.
Just one. You started, I need to do my conclusion.
You done already.
You started, I need to do my conclusion. So,
Maybe if they have conclusion, maybe I have to do another conclusion.
You started.
No, you start
No.
and I listen. And now you start again. This is what happened.
Oh God. In the beginning, you started. So, I should be the last person who does the conclusion, okay? So, here's the thing. We just noticed two Islamic Dawatim disagreed with one another regarding who is hadith we should follow. Islamic Dawatim disagreed with one another as the Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Ibn Majah, Abu Dawud, Tabari, as they all stated age of marriage for Aisha was 6, they disagreed with you as you read the certain hadiths and then put your interpretation.
I didn't put my interpretation.
It's my turn.
I just
I'm
put
doing my
the hadith as
conclusion.
it is.
I'm doing my conclusion. Just be respectful. Surah 4 verse 5 and 6 does not tell us age of marriage is 13. There is no reliable hadith, or there is no any of the hadith which tells us Aisha was 18 years old. So, you need to deal with that. Muhammad married a girl who was only 6 years old while he was 54 years old, and that's not an example. That's not an example.
I guess you need to wrap up.
I've got,
Wrap up for 2 minutes?
I've got 30 more seconds.
No, she put
So,
24, then now she's 2 minutes.
Here's the thing. How you dealt with that is, you discredit the Quran, you
No,
discredit
I
the
didn't.
hadith, and you went to a website and then you give me a book which is 1978 written. That does not work with me. You have to learn in somehow, you need to come up with the proper response why Muhammad married a child while girl had not her breasts yet. Yeah, my time.
Can I conclude myself?
No, okay. When you start, because when we started the conversation, it was you who started.
Can I conclude myself because you conclude 3 times?
No. You are the one
Because
who
you
started
started.
the debate.
What I said.
Okay. Yeah.
Fair enough.
It works the way it works. Because
Anyway,
because you started,
I speak?
I finished.
You can. I will show you something very interesting for you. All those books and all of this, it doesn't discredit Quran, it doesn't discredit the Prophet, it discredits the hadith which are false. And there's plenty of hadith which prove, but you didn't take any of them on consideration, and you just demolish everything That's why it suits you to offend the Prophet and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's the way you are. Because you're never sincere.
As a Christian who concerned for the soul of Muslims,
As a Christian, as a Christian,
it is reliable for you to learn the deal and respond. Sadly, the way you responded, you put the Allah,
Fair.
put the Muhammad, and you put the Quran under the pants. And
No, I
as
didn't.
you notice, your Islamic dawah wasn't
I'm gonna show him something. Thank you very much.
Content over everything. From your yeah. Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. Listen. COE. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. I don't even listen to Sky YG. I just listen to COE. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. I don't even listen to Sky Magic. Man, just listen to COE. Man, just listen to COE. Man, just listen to COE. If you see me in COE, content over everything. COE.
Man, not even know BBC. Man, not even know ITV. Not even listen to the MUM. They just listen to COE. Sorry, mommy, I'm lying. But listen to your mom.